It is Invasive Species Awareness Week, a time to learn all about the animals, pests, and plants that aren't supposed to be here and can ruin our homes and habitats because they are.
Yeah, arborist and Davey tree expert company district manager Schenck is here to talk all about how homeowners can protect your property. So thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, pleasure.
What does it mean first for a species to be invasive and to be a threat?
Usually when we're talking about invasive species, we're talking about species that aren't native to the area. And so some of these species that we deal with have been here for a really long time, maybe even 100 years or so, but they're still invasive and they can still cause a lot of problems to the local landscape.
Yeah, so they come in and they have all this new food and then the natural habitat isn't ready to deal with them, right? So they can really cause some damage.
Yeah, yep.
Oh gosh, okay, so I know this can be frustrating for homeowners, but we're gonna talk about some of the things that people want to really be aware of. So what are some of our region's top pests?
Some of the things that we see a lot in the area are bronze birch borers, Dutch elm disease. Every once in a while we see some cases of the elm leaf beetle, but those species are pretty hard on the landscape. They often kill the trees with the Dutch elm disease. There are programs here in the city called like Save Our Elms that do a really good job in keeping the elms alive. That bug,
this
that's the elm
here.
leaf beetle. That's going to eat the leaves. It's going to skeletalize the leaves. They're going to eat the elm leaves. Makes the elm trees weak. And then the Dutch elm disease actually can be more susceptible to the borers that bring in the fungus.
Oh, gotcha. So the beetles and Dutch elm disease, it's not the same thing, right?
No, so that beetle feeds on the leaves. There's a beetle or borer that actually bores into the tree, and then the fungus is what is the Dutch elm disease, and that actually is what kills the trees.
And just looking at the trees, how can you tell if that's what's going on? Are they just dying, or are there like certain...
Oftentimes you'll see the foliage of the trees start to brown out and die, usually tip down from the top of the trees. And so when you start to see your tree just not doing as well, not as full as it used to be, it could be a problem with a pest. Not always an invasive pest, but a pest. And so there are things you can do to help manage that.
Now, can some of this spread from tree to tree? Like if you saw it with one tree, would you want to take that out before the entire street has a problem, or?
They can spread, absolutely, and they oftentimes do, but removal is not always the best thing to do. There are choices you can have before it gets to that. With like bronze birch borer, if you have a bronze birch borer that's killed a birch tree, that you want to dispose of the wood properly, because the firewood can help travel that bug. Other times, you know, it's just chemical control, but there are things you can do before removal.
So the best approach then, probably to talk to experts like you guys first, and then make sure that whether it be a chemical or removing the tree or removing some of the wood, it sounds like.
Yeah. Disposal of infected debris is really, really important. Proper disposal. You know, firewood's really popular here, so when people remove trees, sometimes they leave it on the street, and if it's infected wood, then you're just moving that from one spot to another.
Yeah, that's the one thing I know we talk about, always trying to buy local firewood and not, you know, buy stuff from stores that's been brought in from who knows where, because that can spread some not so fun things. All right, Dash, we appreciate all the info. For more advice, you can check out this story too on KOIN.com.